Guys, welcome to another year of Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Pedro, you weren't with us last year as far as recording. For 24, Luigi and I, did videos for each week individually. This year, we decided to do something a little different and bring some help in. So, welcome to Cybersecurity Awareness Month 2025, Campus and Pedro to the team.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Pedro.
At this point, I'm sure we're really well known around campus already, just for the things that we do after the start of semester. But we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name's Aaron Wheeler, and I am the campus chief information security officer.
So, hi, all. Nice to see you guys again. Super excited. I really enjoyed doing Cyber Awareness Month last October. It was really fun collaborating with Aaron and things like that. And a little background, I'm sure I told you guys before. I'll give a little bit of a brief introduction of what I do. I work alongside with Aaron, making sure everything is in compliance and the environment is secure for everybody, students, staff, and faculty. And still, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Every day I'm always learning something new on the job. And I also love coordinating with Aaron a lot and the rest of the ITS group.
Do you think you could throw another Aaron in there for me?
Should I? Not enough Aarons?
I don't know. I was waiting for you to go the every day I'm shuffling. Go ahead, Pedro.
So my name is Pedro Alvarez. I am the data center engineer for the server operations team here in QC in Queens College. I'm pretty much the one that keeps the servers running and for students and staff and faculty, help with resetting passwords and helping with email accounts and such. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And the applications that students use all over campus help keep those running as well. And yeah, thank you for having me. This is the first time I'm going to be working with you guys in this event, in this team. So yeah.
Hopefully we can pull a few more in as the weeks go by. The same format as last year. Each week we'll have a different topic. This year we are last year's topic, Luigi, wasn't it? Cyber hygiene, staying cyber clean. And this year it's building your toolkit. So we've got 4 good weeks of various topics. This week we're going to start with hardening your environment. So, what does that mean? The question you would want to probably think of is, what if someone grabbed one of your devices? What if you left a device behind? Guys, jump in. I know I've done it. I have to carry 2 cell phones, a personal and then one for the school. And you get so used to carrying your own, you pick it up, you put it in your pocket, and guess what you left behind? You left your phone. So what if you left something like that for students? What if you left it in the library or in a class, or you leave something sitting in a lab, or heaven forbid it's, in the dining hall. But how much of your life could someone get into if you left something behind?
I was going to say, if it was pretty much left unlocked with no passwords or anything like that, then you're pretty much out of luck. If your whole life is lost. You have all your personal pictures, your passwords, your documents, schoolwork, everything pretty much gets lost if there's no protection in there. It's your life. You pretty much is losing your life, or a big chunk of your life, basically.
No, I agree.
So what would we define hardening your environment as? Go ahead, Luigi, jump in on.
No, I wanted to add on a little bit more to hardening. It's like, us, we carry wallets, right? All the time with us. So honestly, for me, like the way how you guys say your life is all in that phone. Like whenever I lose my wallet years ago when I was young, I used to be really afraid, like, oh, my money's gone, my credit cards and all that stuff. But now if I lose my wallet, I don't really feel like that anymore. I feel more all that feeling is more towards that phone. You guys know what I mean?
Yeah, it's become losing a phone has become a bigger thing than losing your wallet or anything else, or your keys sometimes, because even then you might even have your keys on your phone as well too.
Yeah,
with all the tech that's been going on too.
I mean, shoot, your wallet, get a couple of dollars there, a few cards, but your phone's got the whole bank information in there, and also you have your pass keys in there as well. That's honestly for me, I just feel a little bit more like I get a little bit more concerned when my phone is gone, instead.
Just curious, guys, and I'll raise my hand, but do either of you use like Apple Pay, Google Pay?
All the time.
Or have a, something like that. Yeah. So that's tied, for me, it's tied to one credit card and to my bank card. So, but as far as hardening your environment, basically what it means is it makes it harder to break into any of your devices, be it your laptop, tablet, or your smartphone.
And yeah, we did focus a lot on phones, but other devices with, like you just mentioned, the tablets, the laptops, though they are not as we don't carry it as much as we do our phones, which are they go with us everywhere. Along with laptops, laptops, they also have our stuff there too. The again, documents, Word, passwords as well. No password on them. Again, we'll pretty much lose bank accounts and such through there too.
Yeah. We've defined what hardening means. It means making your mobile devices, and it's mainly mobile devices. There are hardening standards for pretty much everything. Pedro, there's hardening standards for servers. There's hardening standards for desktops. But what we wanted to talk about this year, especially for students, because that's what our focus is hardening for those mobile devices, phones, tablets, laptops. But there are 5 core steps we'll cover, as we talk today. One of them, strong authentication. And I'm going to use the dreaded, the dreaded authentication term around campus right now, because I know everybody's either dealt with it on our end or has issues or questions on the student side. But MFA or 2FA, don't stone me. And then we'll talk about auto lock, and access controls, what that means, encryption and updating, disabling things you don't need. And then, we'll talk about having a resilience mindset and why all of this matters and try to tie it together. Now I'm not going to lie. I told ChatGPT, give me some way to remember all of this because, was looking for a mnemonic, and so it gave me Harden, HARDEN. H is hiding behind strong authentication. A is always auto lock. R is restrict what you don't need. D is data encryption. E is environment awareness. And what that means itself, I didn't go into the others specifically because they're self-explanatory, but when you're environmentally aware, treating your device like your dorm room, lock it down in public, don't leave it unattended. And then never assume that it won't happen to me. That's your N, HARDEN, Harden. And it's if you adopt this resilience mindset, even if stolen, your data stays safe, which is what you were talking about, Luigi. I will tell you a story about losing my wallet. I was in high school and I lost my wallet in the Magic Kingdom at Disney World on a band trip, which my parents were not chaperones for, meaning all my cash, my driver's license. And think about this. This was 1990.
You're aging. Don't age yourself.
1993. And I won't say what year it was in high school for me, but it was a year in high school. But yeah, on a band trip, and I did. The pants I had on, the pocket was loose, and I leaned against a railing towards the end of the day. And when I slid off of it to stand back up, it slid it right out of my pocket and never saw it. Luckily somebody turned it in and they sent it back to me. They actually mailed it to me. But think about losing your phone. Everything's on there. You know, I've even seen people with pictures of their driver's license, and that's something for me. I don't understand that. I wouldn't do it. But I've seen it, so I could only imagine that. So yeah, never.
I mean, it's
never
like,
think to yourself.
I feel like it's those pictures of like your passport or your driver's license they're using. It is like it's better to have a picture of it than have the physical version of it with you. I mean, it's still risky, but that's what I'm assuming is like the best way to handle it, not having it on you all the time.
Not only that, what about people putting their in the chat rooms? And I'm gonna be honest, a few of my family members do it, and I tell them all the time, you know, if you need something from Amazon, you know, don't send me your credit card. I'll be more than happy to pay for it, because then all that information gets stuck in that chat, you know, and that bothers me a little bit, because God forbid if I lose the phone, you know, then that's also, you know, exposed as well.
Oh yeah. So what does strong authentication mean? Who wants to take this one?
This one, I'll take this one. Mostly because I have to deal with it with what I do, because I can't use with everyday life and everyday work. Basically, I can't use the same passwords every time. For servers, you can't have the same password used constantly, because that's the best way for hackers to get into the servers and hack and get them and get all the credentials for students and such. So you can't really use easy passwords or use the same password all the time. So one of the things that I use and one thing that helps me strengthen my passwords is a password manager. Using a password manager randomizes your passwords. You won't be repeating the same password, and it takes the burden of remembering the passwords away from you. That way you don't lock yourself out from the devices or from an account, and it's all basically documented. There are several places that you can use. You could either get a password manager from any of the app stores, from Google or from Apple, but they are now, because of how vital passwords have become, they are now built into the OS. So now with Apple, the passwords are built into the key. I can't remember the name of it.
Keychain, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go. It's Keychain.
iOS. Yep.
Yeah, and then for Google, it's in your Chrome, and it's built into the Chromebooks and such. So using those to randomize your passwords, lengthen them as well, because again, short passwords.
You just took my question from me, man. I was going to ask, but isn't it important to have a long, really long password?
Yeah, it is. It helps to have a long password, again, because it is difficult. The longer the password, the more difficult it is to get into the accounts, basically.
Do you happen to know the length at which there is an optimal length, because there's a point at which you get diminishing returns. Basically diminishing returns on it. It gets so hard to break that anything beyond like 12, 13 characters. I forgot what 13 is. Mm-hmm. With the newer GPUs out there, for people use them for password cracking.
It still takes a good.
I want to say they say it's still in the millions of years to if you use every option available to you, meaning uppercase, lowercase, special characters, and numbers. I want to say it's. Don't hold me to this, because I don't have it in front of me, but I'm wanting to say it's 1 point something million years. It is a ridiculous amount of time. Which is, if I'm not mistaken, why recently in the last few months we've all had to do a CUNY first reset, and they said nothing shorter than 13 characters. That's the minimum requirement. So,
but again, as you said, it helps delay the hackers from getting into accounts and such.
Have any of y'all had your passwords hacked?
Yes,
all the time.
And I won't deny it, because this was before I got into This is before I learned my lesson in IT and what I with the experiences I've had. But there are sites that help you determine if your password has been leaked, and which is now becoming more commonplace as well because of all the security breaches that have been going on all over the world. So if anything, if my passwords have been leaked, and again, before I used to not give a big deal. I would reset the password and then add like a dot to the end, and then that's it.
You mean just go one number up?
Yeah, one number up, and then that's it. Ah, see.
I've never done that, but I know somebody who did, and I could always guess her password because I'm like, okay, when was the last time I used it? How many days has it been? And it was required to be changed every 30 days, which was good. I mean, it's a little excessive from a password policy standpoint. Personally, 60 days, 90 days at the outside, but somewhere in that range but 30 days gets to be too much. And I think this is why she did it, is because every 30 days you had to think of a new, password.
And all you do is just up it up.
All she did was add a number to her password. And I'm like, okay, yep, I can still get in because, it's been 60 days, which means it had a 7. That means 8, 9. Yep, 9 it is.
And then there it is. And then that's it. You're in the account. And then
it's the emotions.
You're pretty much, you do what you need to do.
It's the emotions. Like, who likes making long new passwords? It cuts time. It's better, easy to remember, things like that. And I feel like that's why a lot of people just like to do things like that.
What about passphrases? Neither of you mentioned that, have you? One thing you can do, and this is actually, it's interesting because it's interesting how it makes its way into pop culture. I'm going to make a quick aside anecdote on that, but think of a sentence. Take, the first word, first letter, second word, third letter, third word, fifth letter, some way that you do create your password off of this sentence. And I heard that, and that's been around for a while, the idea of a passphrase. But then I heard it in the book, actually, not in the movie, for Ready Player One. He uses in the book, he uses passphrases as his password. And I'm like, it's interesting that you see it make its way into sort of the literature and pop culture.
And I mean, we've seen it before. I've seen it, and I might be aging myself in saying this, but as I grew up, one of the I don't use this passphrase, but it's an example of it. But PEMDAS, so for math, and one of the easiest ways of remembering it's like please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and there you go. That's PEMDAS right there.
Order of operations.
Exactly. So. So that was one way. So passphrases are now like built into that now. So
you could have been really interesting, and then and when you got to say the M for which stands for multiply, take the number of letters and multiplied it by the number of letters and made it square.
No, that's a little bit.
You could have gotten really interesting. See, I told you. So yeah, all right. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The one thing we never want to mention, because it seems to elicit such an emotional response from a lot of people right now, but that's MFA. The other is not just using a password manager, but turning on MFA, which is multi-factor authentication. It's also called two-factor authentication if you've seen 2FA.
You feel like almost every organization's pushing it to have a
I don't
MFA
think it's an
enabled?
almost, Luigi. I think it's everywhere. Just about everywhere now is either and it's really fun because like when you're using PayPal and you have a significant other. So for that, it goes to not me. So then I have to text her and go, hey, send me the code you just got.
Yeah.
Which then also means I get in trouble for whatever it is I'm buying. But so yeah, MFA really, really is important. And it is honestly one of the simplest, and next to using a password manager, the simplest ways to really keep your devices and your accounts, especially, secure. So let's talk about auto locking and access control. For iOS, it's what, minimum 30 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. 30 seconds as high as 5 minutes, and then you can choose never, and never choose never. You always want to have a locking. You always want your screen
to auto lock after a certain amount of time.
So what's the minimum for Android? Do you know what the minimum is on that? I think it's 15 seconds, isn't it?
It's 15 seconds.
I know Apple it's 30. You can't do it any shorter than 30. But Android I think is 15.
Sometimes I feel like it's less than 15, but yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Happens all the time.
Okay. But now we're talking about hardening, and we probably should have mentioned this sooner, but a lot of what we're talking about are standards that come from the Center for Internet Security, CIS. CIS is the Center for Internet Security, and they have hardening standards and benchmarks for various things. In this case, their benchmark recommendation is less than 2 minutes for all devices. So 2 minutes or less for iOS, for and Android. Now, talking about your computer, it's a little different. It's real easy for you to be working and think, oh, I'm working. Oh, someone's texted me. Let me look at my phone for a second. And you don't want, while you're trying to type that text, the computer. So for computers, they say it's 15 minutes is what it should be. And I'm pretty sure that all devices across campus, that's what's set up. When we image devices, we set it at 15 minutes.
To lock up.
Especially public machines, yes.
All right, guys, let's talk about encryption. Who wants to take on full disk encryption for Windows and the recommendations?
Well, I'm not a Windows user, so I avoid that like the plague.
All right, got it. Luigi, you're up.
So full disk encryption.
Well, let's talk about what encryption means. Plain terms, a lot of people, I think.
Without getting too technical on it.
Well, let's talk about what it is and if we can explain what it isn't. But basically, I don't know. Go ahead, Luigi. You want to take that, talk about what encryption is?
Well, for me, encryption basically means it's locked. No one else can access it. Only you can access it. That's the best way I can say it without being a little bit too technical with it.
You can get a little deeper. Basically, encryption, it scrambles your data. There's the earliest ciphering. I think it's actually called the Julius Caesar cipher. It's a circle where you turn it, you turn it, and then the letters you use are different. And I can't remember. I know there's a number of other ones. I can't remember some of the others. But it's basically like that.
Like taking the plain text, putting it through an encryption tool. It gives random numbers, bits, and then, it comes out completely something different. And the only way to unencrypt it, you got to have the key for it. Something in that kind of realm, right?
So BitLocker is your Windows. You want to jump into that, Luigi?
Yeah, BitLocker, it's almost the same as a file vault. It encrypts your hard drive. I'm not entirely sure if it's enabled. I think it is now with Windows 11, especially for laptops. Because, it's always good just in case if you ever lose your laptop or any device, it's immediately encrypted. So nobody can get access to that hard drive or any of those files. So
it is not enabled by default, I will tell you.
It's not. All right, thanks for correcting me on that.
But not honestly, on Windows. That's,
In my opinion, I feel like it should be enabled by default when they're doing the setup, just to have that little extra security, especially for, anyone that's using laptops. And honestly now, almost, majority of people are using laptops, for the convenience. They like carrying it with them, especially for students that bring them, on campus. They like to do their work in public and things like that. I feel like that's something that's really needed to, have the default for their laptop. Not just a Windows machine, Mac machines as well.
Yep. All right, let's talk about updates a little bit. I don't think there's a deep conversation to be had. Not that we're having deep conversations, but
Best thing to do is keep your devices updated all the time.
If at all, unless you have, and I'm talking an ironclad reason why not, turn automatic updates on, period. Now with Android, I'm pretty sure with Android, they're going to offer an automatic, automatic update option. But Luigi, is it one of those that it just, if you turn that on, it just does it whether you want it to or not, or does it actually ask?
So the way how I have it set up on my Android, so Android, that's the thing, they're going to keep nagging you to update. So you can either update it now or you can schedule the update. But even if you, for example, let's say you keep knocking it off and saying, I don't want to update 1.1.1, think something like that, it's just going to keep coming back no matter what. It wants you to update it.
Yeah, Apple does the same thing. It'll keep saying schedule, and I'll tell it no. Yeah, I just hit the button at the bottom that says no, wait, if I need to hold off on it.
Yeah, but for me, like, it's a good feat. I always update my phone. It's for me, it's a necessity to do that. The good thing is that I schedule it at a time when I'm not using it, and what time would I not be using it? Can you guys guess?
When you're sleeping.
When we're sleeping, right?
But one thing I think that we should always look into is the amount of years that they're covered now. Because now with security updates, I know that Samsung, I think, is doing 5 years of security updates for their phones, and Google 7. So and then Apple, I mean, it's not determined by years, but it's basically how old your device is. They have really long-term support with their updates, so they'll last. I mean, like we just mentioned, iPhone 11 is now the new one. They kept the 10 for a long time, and the 10, I would need to look it up. The 10 came out what? I don't remember what year the 10 came out, but that was a good already 10 years ago already, right? Was it?
Oh yeah, because wasn't
No, I think 7 was 10 years ago.
Yeah, the oldest one you can update now is the 11, and the newest phone out is the 17. But the other thing to remember, and neither of you mentioned it, and I almost didn't mention, I almost forgot, is apps as well. Not just your operating system, but your applications.
Yeah.
And I will admit it. I'll own up to it. In fact, you know what? I'll tell you what. I will tell you how many applications currently need to be updated on my phone.
Funny thing for that one, I actually have automatic updates. I just let it update in the background.
I don't. I do, but for some reason it doesn't always fire like it should. I have only 7. I've had as many as and I'm really bad if I haven't used my iPad in a while, because I'll have as many as all of them that need, and I can't remember how many apps are on there, like 50, 60 apps or something, but yeah, I only have 7 right now.
Honestly, like, my recommendation, like, people, they love to have hundreds of apps. If you got an app that you're not using at all, like you only used it once, honestly, just uninstall it. Like, just keep the ones you're always using.
That leads us to what we're going to talk about next, Luigi, which is disabling what you don't need. All right, let's talk about. Go ahead. What's that, Pedro?
That was a perfect segue.
Perfect. Like almost like
you're turning to Linus.
I gave you the opening to the next segment.
But what that means is, so we use the term attack surface, and I know that sounds highly technical, etc. Whatnot, but basically, think of attack surface as like your home or your dorm room or your car. If you leave every window and door open, every single one of those becomes a new attack surface, a place that somebody could sneak in and get in and take your stuff. It's the total number of ways of which you can be attacked. So everything that you have turned on your phone. So let's talk about some of those. Bluetooth. How many of us leave Bluetooth on all the time?
Well,
Yeah, that's me. So, mostly because I listen to music all the time.
Now we have to.
And then AirDrop or your near field, who has AirDrop turned on? Now,
I have AirDrop turned on.
Yeah, but there's and then Wi-Fi auto join
for it. Yeah.
So, couple of things that I would say I have AirDrop turned on, but I have it set for only contacts.
Yeah, contact, same for
Meaning
me.
that if I know you, we can AirDrop, and then except for my contact info on my work phone, there for the college, I have it set up so that if you want my number, I can walk up and tap, and it'll give you my contact info, and that makes that a little bit easier. And then Wi-Fi I keep pretty much turned off. Most of the time.
Oh no, I leave my Wi-Fi on, but I don't access the unnecessary, like the Wi-Fi points and such. It's usually like I need to get confirmation of whatever it's trying to join. I don't allow it to just join any public network and such.
Yeah, I keep mine's off. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi.
All right, so let's talk about rogue access points on campus. And yes, people, they do happen. We do our best to chase them down. We have a phenomenal network infrastructure team, but people do it. They throw up a rogue access point, and all it takes is changing a little letter, putting a 0 in and instead of an O, and you think it's Queens College, and it's really Queens O circle 0 ledge. So yeah, let's talk about any of those. Any personal experiences?
No, I mean, connecting to like my phone, I'm always cautious about, where I'm connecting and, whose access point it is. And, I like to take additional steps, just to be sure. I mean, for example, if I see like access points that I'm not familiar with, or, honestly, like if there's an access point that says no password required or no authentication, that's a big no-no for me. You know what I mean, Aaron?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
I mean,
it's the old adage.
Yeah, I mean,
if it's free, you're the
you're the
commodity.
Oh yeah. Not only that, like that's another thing I want to like restaurants, bar. Like I remember I went to a couple of places.
Or Walmart.
Yeah.
Or Target.
Perfect places to target anyone. But not only that, Aaron, like
no pun intended, right?
No pun intended. But not only that, Aaron, like how about like some places they got routers that are like ancient, like so old, like they're not even up to standards anymore. And those could be exploited too. That's another thing.
When was the last time they updated the firmware? And which encryption are they using? What are we?
Right now we went up again. I don't know which one.
Once they were on 3 for
it might be 3.
Oh yeah, I think it's on 3 right now.
It's in 3.
So no, you're absolutely right.
I mean, there's also, I try to avoid it, and the best way that I try to avoid is basically turning my phone into a mobile hotspot. Just that way, if I know there aren't that many options that are possible, but like just to avoid using these Wi-Fi points, it's just turn on my phone and just use it as a hotspot.
Yep.
Now that feature is now built into a majority of phones, it is built in.
More convenient.
So just using it and just that'll alleviate the risk of jumping into a random access point that you don't trust and such. So that's one thing I always try to do is just, hey, I don't trust any other networks around me that I know so that I'll just turn on my hotspot and start using it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap this up. We can go on for a while. I know we've all got the stories, but we recap the 5 tools. Passwords and MFA, auto locking, encryption. Ensure that you have updates, that you are updating and then disabling all extras. It's important, especially if you're watching this and you've listened and you've enjoyed it, to remember, harden your environment. Make sure that you check your phone, check your laptop. Make sure that your settings are changed. Don't wait, do it tomorrow. Do it now. Do it before your next class. And I believe these are going to go out on YouTube. So if you're listening, if you've watched this, if you've gotten something from it, like it, let us know, who's out there, who's listening, engage with it, and drop us a comment, which step surprised you, or which story, do you share commonality with, or share a story that that we didn't, an experience that none of us maybe have had, something that's happened to you. We invite all of those. And guys, thanks again for joining us, joining me today, for helping with this. And I look forward to having the same conversation for next week's topic.
Same.